You got any hobbies? What kind of hobbies do you have?
Yeah, so I do martial arts. So I love martial arts. I've just recently got back into it after years and years and years of not doing it. So that's been amazing. And then I've been, so that's Juno Karate here. So karate is what I'm into. But I've done all kinds of martial art styles before. Taekwondo, Jiu-Jitsu, Kenjutsu, and tiny bit of informal Muay Thai and stuff like that. So lots of martial arts, but all for fun and conditioning and everything else. It's amazing. I also do painting, so I like to paint, and I like to do the acrylics, and I do it on unusual mediums. So I could do it on like the bear's bread, and I can do like crab shells and stuff like
That's
that. Oh
that's
yeah,
bear's bread right
yeah.
there. In case you don't know.
Yeah. So it's a, hard material, but it's unusual, has a lot of different bumps, and usually it has a rise that comes out here where it attaches to the tree. So it's going to be like on a tree here, usually in a dead tree. And so we'll actually go out as a family and we can go
Yeah.
and get them. And you usually let them dry out for like half a year or something. And then they're kind of ready to be used and painted on. So I do all kinds of things. Usually I love scapes, so I like mountains, particularly like Alaskan scapes. But I've done one in Vietnam for my father-in-law, who's also in the Coast Guard. He was a chief, and so I did one of the Taney in Vietnam, and that was a present for him a couple years back.
That's cool.
So yeah, love doing that stuff. I'll do Coast Guard cutters and stuff like that occasionally, but
Um,
helicopters.
you mind talking about your family a little bit?
Yeah, we can talk about it, sure.
What hobbies? How old are your kids? What are
So
your
I
kids?
have two boys that are 8 and 11.
Okay.
And
So
yes.
while you're traveling throughout the Coast Guard, what kind of extracurricular activities have they done? Because
Oh,
Coast Guard kids always end up in all kinds of different opportunities.
yes, they do. Oh, geez. Yeah. So my oldest one is my outdoor boy. Loves to be outdoors, loves to be on the move, loves to go fishing. And traditionally, my younger son is more of likes to be at home, does the gaming stuff. They both game, but recently that sort of shifted. We got our youngest one hooked into a flounder and hooked into some seaweed, and he thought it was like the greatest thing ever. So so he's been asking to go fishing more. It's like the salmon runs over, but we'll get out. We'll get out. So yeah, so they do fishing, both of them now. And they did up in Valdez too, so we are
Yeah.
able to take advantage of that. Both of them are also in martial arts, so I've gotten them in, and that's just sort of a personal preference thing from a parenting standpoint. But I want them to have kind of a base level of skills. So being able to defend yourself, I think, is a very important aspect of life as a general rule. And then, being able to provide for your family and get meat on the table and stuff is also important. So the fishing helps with that. And then getting them both into swimming, too, is just something that I think is incredibly important to be able to, have that survive, because you never know when you're going to need it. I mean, we have
Mm-hmm.
all kinds of flooding that we're dealing with right now, or have been dealing with up in Western Alaska, and all the flooding down in Florida, everything that's been going on. I myself have used swimming and the skills a number of times in actual scenarios. As benign as the tide came in and you weren't quite expecting it
Yep.
to other times. So I'm being ready for a flood or whatever. So I think those are kind of important things. So they're in that, and then so Soren, my oldest son, does he swims as a part of the team here
At the
at
school.
the school, and then my younger son does soccer. So that's kind of what they do, and then Legos and other computer games and stuff is the
Is
other
there
side of it.
grass on the soccer field here?
I think it's turf. Is it
They
turf?
actually have turf.
I want to say it's turf.
Is it outside?
It is.
So how many soccer games do they play in the rain?
Oh, all of them? Yeah, maybe like all but like two. It's like, how many did they not?
Just want
Is
people
the
to
better question.
realize that if you're down south and you actually
Oh,
have sunshine while your kid's playing soccer, don't complain
yeah.
because it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, we've always said, I mean, if you're going to be in Juneau, Alaska, or anywhere in Southeast Alaska, because there are even more rainier places than here, but if you're going to let the little bit of rain stop you, you ain't doing anything.
Yeah.
Like you're never gonna do anything because it's always raining.
Well, don't you also like to 3D print stuff?
Yeah, I do. So
Does one
that's
of your kids like that as well?
yeah, yeah. Well, they like what I make them.
Oh, okay.
So no, it was one of my COVID hobbies, and one that I just sort of looked at and I was like, that kind of suits me. I'd love to do 3D printing. So I do both filament and resin, and yeah, it hasn't stopped. I still make things. And the kids like it when I make dinosaurs, and I'll make all kinds of different like models and
Yeah.
other things too. So I'm fairly adept at it. I think right now I could probably make most anything that you can make with plastic. I can do.
Okay.